Trinity, what are you yakking about? Where on earth are you off to now? Kai sat at the table, watching his wife pack her suitcase, trying to figure out a way to stop her. Trinity turned around, exasperated. Kai, come on. Haven't we hashed this out already? Why are we going around in circles? But sweetheart, this just isn't right. What is this nonsense? I'm your lawful husband, and you're about to abandon me for some fleeting city lights. Trinity settled down in front of him, eyes wide open with conviction. Kai, don't you get it? I feel stifled here. Seth told me I'm gorgeous, that I look like a movie star, that I don't belong in some tiny village. He made me see things clearly. He knows how to treat a woman, flowers, chocolates. It works. That's absurd. I've built this house. I bring home money so you can live comfortably. You have an expensive fur coat. Trinity cut him off. What are you even talking about? Comparing this and that? That fur coat is so out of style in the city. And you go on about your precious house. Go find yourself another missus. I don't want anyone else. It's over, okay? Life with you is such a drag. You could at least make a scene. I can if you want me to. Whatever. I'm leaving. With her suitcase in hand, Trinity walked off toward the bus stop, chasing her dreams, and Kai, her rightfully wedded husband, was left sitting at the table, bewildered and alone. They had only been wed for a brief 5 years when it became apparent that this couple was quite out of the ordinary. Trinity, a petite and restless soul, contrasted starkly against her spouse, Kai, a towering and gentle giant. Their stark differences made their union all the more captivating. Their love blossomed unexpectedly. Kai never expected that someone as exquisite as Trinity would ever deign to become his wife. Yet, against all odds, she agreed. And so the whole village assembled to honor their union in matrimonial festivities. From the very beginning, Kai was sympathetic to his role as a husband and doted on his energetic wife. Whatever Trinity wanted, she did it quickly, because Kai, who inherited a small business, was a rich man. The village was experiencing a period of newfound prosperity, accompanied by a difference between the rich and those who lived more modestly. As a result, well-to-do residents demonstrated their status to each other, often ordering elaborate wrought iron gates and artistic sculptures from Kai. The bus rolled up, and Trinity gripped the suitcase handle, only to see a breathless Kai rush to her side. "Woo, just in time, here for you. You never know when you're this Seth might end up broke." Trinity chuckled. "Thanks, now scamper home. Without a hat, you'll catch your death of cold." She pocketed the cash Kai had brought, then moved towards the bus. Kai hoisted her suitcase onto the top step. Trinity waved. Kai was truly a gem. So considerate. Another man might have dragged his woman back by the heels if she were running off to another guy. But not Kai. He helped her, even gave her money. Truth be told, if it weren't for Seth, she'd never have left Kai. Seth was part of the construction crew building a new club in town. Trinity, working in the canteen, had plenty of dealings with the workers. Seth, despite being short and slender, had a striking face. His hearty appetite brought him close to Trinity, and she couldn't resist his sweet talk. How could she, when he serenaded her with such words? They were far from what she'd ever hear from a rural guy. Seth really laid it on thick. "Trinity, do you know why you were named Trinity? It's because you're meant for true love. Real love. Not this common countryside affection. If you were single and living in the city, I'd have swept you off your feet. And no one would have taken you from me." When the rumors reached Kai, he confronted her. "Are you saying he's bothering you?" "I'll tan his hide." What could she tell him? That it wasn't just pestering, and they had even shared kisses. She couldn't. So she brushed it off as nonsense, saying Seth was an upstanding man. But oh, how intense it was with Seth. Then came the day he had to leave. Trinity was in shock. How could this be? We're in love. Trinity, you have a husband and a home. You won't abandon everything to come with me, will you? I will, you'll see. Just tell me where. Seth quickly scribbled down an address and waved goodbye. Trinity didn't waste time. The next day, she started packing. She knew that in the city, real happiness awaited. Not with plain old Kai, but with the gentle and romantic Seth. Upon her arrival in the city, she promptly consulted a crumpled piece of paper for the address and hailed a taxi. As the vehicle pulled up to the destination, she was taken aback. What she had anticipated as a residential structure was merely a shell of decay. The taxi driver, puzzled, remarked, "You know, I was thinking there was something off here. What brings you to this spot?" Trinity's eyes filled with tears. It seems Seth must have bungled the address he gave me. Now, how on earth am I supposed to locate him? Luckily, the taxi driver was quick on his feet. After learning which company had commissioned the construction, he easily tracked down their headquarters, and in exchange for a chocolate bar, secured Seth's actual address. Before heading out, Trinity stopped at a local store to pick up a collection of treats. Recalling that Seth lived with his mom, she found the correct apartment and rang the doorbell. Behind the door, commotion ensued before it swung open, revealing a petite, about 40-year-old woman clad in a dusty robe. "Whom are you looking for?" she inquired, eyeing Trinity with a hint of suspicion. "I'm here to see Seth." The woman's eyebrow arched skeptically before she bellowed back into the apartment, "Seth, someone's here to see you." Yet she held her ground, scrutinizing Trinity keenly. Unable to bear the tension, Trinity ventured a guess. "Oh, you must be Seth's sister, right?" "Sister? No, I'm his wife. But who might you be?" The wife called out again, "Seth," with increased volume. "Coming, honey," came a voice from deeper within the dwelling, as Trinity gawked in disbelief at the woman. A wife? But then why did he invite me here? Just then Seth emerged, looking far less charming than remembered in his faded t-shirt and nondescript shorts. "Trinity? How on earth did you manage to track me down? Did you mess up the address intentionally?" She confronted him. Seth avoided her gaze, turning to his wife. "Sweetheart, I'll fill you in." He proceeded. "This lady works at the village diner where our team was stationed. To dodge extra charges, I'd flatter her a bit, and she'd treat us on the house. I've no clue what she'd envisioned. They tend to be quite gullible out there in the country." As he continued to explain, Trinity was already dashing for the stairs, overwhelmed by embarrassment and unable to meet anyone's eyes. How had she not seen it coming? Surely Kai might have given her a friendly thump to set her straight. She roamed the city streets until dusk, uncertain of her next steps. As twilight deepened, she found herself gravitating towards the train station. It was imperative to find shelter for the night. Should she lease a flat? Secure employment? It appears those are her inevitable next steps. A return to the village was out of the question. Could she really appear before her husband and proclaim, "Hello, I've enjoyed myself, now I'm back with you"? Absolutely not. That would be utterly humiliating. Thus, she's resigned to endure life in this despised metropolis. Almost all the villagers gathered near the forge building. Some tried to dissuade Kai. "What are you thinking? You've devoted years to this craft. Your father, your grandfather, they built something here. Would you really strip the village of its forge?" Yet, Kai turned a deaf ear to them all. He methodically swung his hammer, obliterating everything. First the wrought iron structures, the workbenches, then the decorative pieces he crafted during quieter moments, like iron blossoms and intricate spirals. Next, he laid waste to the anvil, then the walls themselves. The crashing echoes reverberated throughout the hamlet, each strike sending shockwaves among the onlookers. Kai had been renowned as a skilled smith, sought after from all around, a source of village pride and prosperity. Out-of-towners would flock for the dairy, meat, and potatoes. Now their prospects were dimmed to market peddling, perhaps. That Trinity, what chaos she wrought! When barely anything remained of the forge, Kai proceeded to the store. The villagers watched in horror, bracing for even worse devastation. Their fears realized, Kai emerged from the store, clutching a bag brimming with clinking treasures. None of the men in Kai's lineage indulged in alcohol. It wasn't due to a lack of fondness, but because their faculties would completely shut down when they did. Given each man's Herculean strength, folks would steer clear of the streets on such occasions. There was only one person on the planet who could pacify Kai when he was on a drunken rampage, Trinity. She would stomp her foot and command, having a laugh, "Now get to bed pronto." And in an instant, Kai, dejected, would head home to hit the sack. This happened about once a year, sometimes less frequently. However, since Trinity began living with him, his revelries never stretched past a day, just until the moment she would bolt. The last time he got drunk, he bent the chairman's gate on a bet. It's still a mystery who he was trying to impress and why. When the chairman tried to stop him, Kai picked him up and hurled him over the fence with the grace of a butterfly. Not even grazing the 2-meter barrier, the chairman ended up in the hospital, and Kai in the slammer. Fortunately, he was released and forgiven by the boss. "We've got to find Trinity, or he'll wreck everything here. And calling the cops is out of the question. He's a good guy. Why should we hunt her down? She's at the town's train station. Her suitor didn't take to her." "Seriously? No way." "Yep. I spotted her a couple of days ago. She claims she's married now, so she's stuck cleaning floors there, too embarrassed to return." The man who overheard this conversation dashed off to locate Kai. Time was of the essence before he drank himself into oblivion. They caught up with him at the gate and began to speak rapidly. Initially, Kai paid no heed, but then he paused and listened intently. He stood there, handed over his bag with the booze to the speaker, and bolted inside the house. 5 minutes later, he re-emerged, attired in urban fashion, and yelled, "Can someone give me a lift to town?" Several folks immediately volunteered. How could Kai turn them down? His spirits were so lifted that he wouldn't touch a drop. Trinity leaned forward, exhausted. At last, the ballroom was spotless. Now she could stash away the mop and pails, and finally recline. The station master had provided her a room, complete with a radio. Evenings were marked by melancholic tunes that often moved Trinity to tears. "You silly girl. You dumb girl, Trinity," she chastised herself. "How could you leave a decent, dependable man for a scoundrel? Look at where you are now. Don't you dare weep." With a deep breath, she shuffled towards the back room. Trinity. Startled, she paused and turned. Kai stood before her. "Kai? How on earth did you find me? Straight from the camel. Why haven't you gone back home?" "Where's home, Kai?" Trinity was baffled, unable to grasp his meaning. "Don't you have a home or a husband? Why are you lingering here?" "No, Kai, no home, no husband. I chased after happiness, only to find it was someone else's. Forgive me, Kai, for being such a fool. Ruined your life and shattered my own." She was nearly out the door when Kai firmly grasped her hand. "You've got a home and a husband. Hurry up and pack. The car's outside waiting." Trinity was dumbstruck by his words. "Kai, are you for real? I was horrible to you." Kai put on an expression of severity. "Stop spouting foolishness. We're going home." Without hesitating, Trinity flung herself around his neck. What other choice did she have? They got back home in the twilight, Trinity wandering through the rooms, gently caressing her familiar belongings, the nostalgia overwhelming. Eventually, she settled next to Kai. "You know, Kai, I've come to understand that love isn't housed in pretty phrases. Forgive me. It's water under the bridge, but no more second chances. Trinity beamed a smile. I won't need them. I've grown wiser, much wiser.